Hello everyone! As you know who I am, I'm Michaela and I work here at Westland Dog Food. We're really just trying to get up and at 'em with our little YouTube series. So I do have quite a few videos posted over there. But this video is going to be a little bit different. Most of the videos we do already are just going to be like the puppy videos, which everyone loves, and it's just spotlights on certain breeds. This video, however, is going to be more about like training purposes and like what we would use for training or just anything to really get a jump start on your puppy's training, all the way from when they're sweet little babies to when they're a little bit older and stuff like that. So we're just going to go into a couple details about certain products that we use. Makes training a little bit easier and kind of gets the ball rolling on certain training purposes. Okay, so first thing I have is a little clicker. So these things, a lot of trainers use them. It's kind of just, it teaches correct behavior. So when they do a correct behavior that you want them to do, you click it, and then you give them a treat. So every time they hear the click, they know they did something good, and they're going to get a reward for it. That's why if they do a bad behavior, you wouldn't click it. So that's just one little technique. That way you're not directly just treat training. They have to listen for the clicker so they know they're going to do something good. Next thing is, now we're going on to walking. So one example would be like if you're just starting off and everything like that, a harness is a really good mechanism to use for your dog. Not everyone likes harnesses. Some people do, some people don't. And they do come in two different styles. Like this one goes over their head versus another one just wraps around. And this would be more for a dog that doesn't pull, or a dog's a little older and they need just a little more support. But if you do have a dog that pulls, and there's a couple other techniques that work really well, a couple other products, like one of them would be like a gentle leader. Now this one goes around their nose, as you can see in the picture right here. I can point to the right thing right there. So then that just goes around their muzzle. So if they start pulling, it's going to turn their head. It's going to turn it the other way. So turn back to you. So they're not going to get far. They're going to be like, okay, I'm going backwards. I don't want to do that. I want to go forward. Next thing, this is just in between. So similar to the harness, this is just a regular collar. Just it has the little tag on there, so you can put dog tags and everything on there. This would just be if you're just getting a dog used to the collar and just making sure that they can keep it on and everything like that, and they're not going to try to get it off. But I usually just recommend these later on, especially with like little small breeds. Their tracheas are kind of soft, so you really don't want to tug on them that much. This would be more just to have it on there, and then if your dogs are really great at walking, you can really just use the collar. But if your dog likes to pull and everything like that, and they strain themselves, then this would just be used for like having their tag on them and everything like that. Next thing is another product. So this is another easy walk. Just the difference with this one is that this one just goes to the front of their chest. It doesn't clip back like most harnesses do. And it does the same thing as the gentle leader. It's going to turn them around. So if they start pulling, they're not going to go forward. They're going to start turning around. They're going to start going back to you, and they're not going to keep going. So they want to just go one way, but if they keep turning, they're going to be like, okay, well, I can't pull. I still just want to go straight. So these are also really nice too. Next thing is a little more advanced in training, or if your dog's like really stubborn and stuff like that and you want a little more control with it. There's two things I'm going to show you. So this first one is what we call a martingale collar. So what this one does is you hook it around like you normally would, just over your dog's head. But the thing is, it's got this little strap right here. So when they start pulling, it gets tighter and it just starts to close a little bit. So it's similar to a choke chain, but it's not as distinct as a choke chain, but it does start to give them that, oh, like, I don't want to go any farther. This gets a little tight. So that's just like a nice medium in between. That way, if your dog doesn't work with a harness or a regular collar, you can step it up from there. But if that one doesn't work, then you go on to the actual chain. Now, these look scarier than they actually are. I actually use one on my dog, so I know that they're effective. So what you would do is fit it for your dog. Now the main goal with these is that they fit over your dog's head snugly, but then you have about 4 inches of what's called correction. So now 4 inches would typically be a full-grown man's pinky finger. Mine's too little, as you can see. So generally about 4 inches, about there. So what this does, every time your dog goes where you don't want them to go, you would correct them, and it makes that noise. So it's the noise that gets their attention. It's not the pressure on their neck. It's the noise because they don't like the noise. But that's also like an instant correction. It's not like pulling, saying no. This is instant correction. Collar, but not everyone's comfortable with those, so we will just go with this for now. So, walking training and everything like that, once your dog and you have more control over them, then you can gradually take steps back, or you can just keep them on the same thing for the rest of their life. So next thing with training, basically just with new puppy training, personally, we all here at Westline Dog Food find that crate training is the easiest way to potty train your dog, and we like having this little flyer right here from Midwest. This is the same brand that we use for all of our cages, and they're just a great company and great quality products. Basically, gist of potty training is just repetition, and also just a basic schedule. Dogs like schedules. Puppies need a schedule. So if they know every day at 7 a.m. you guys get up with them, take them outside to go potty, play with them for a little bit, and put them back in the cage, then they have breakfast, then they're good. They know that there's a schedule and their body regulates to that schedule. If you just have your dog running around 24/7, they're just going to go. They're just going to go anywhere. It's not like, okay, well, I have to go, I'll just squat here, versus when they're in the cage, they're like, okay, well, I want to get out, I got to go. Then they're going to cry and whine and wait for you to come get them to go potty. That way everyone's held accountable for their dog going outside if they're in a crate. Now, crate training has always been a hot topic for some people. Some say it's mean to them. Some people say it's fantastic. I personally crate train my dog, and that she's been like that for 2 years, and it's just a lot easier, and that is her safe space. Anyone comes over she's not the biggest fan of, or if she's just tired from a long day, then she can just go hang out in her crate and she's totally fine. That's her safe spot. She enjoys her crate. I make it comfortable. Perfect. And you don't even have to do it the rest of their life. My dog just likes hers, so I kept it around. Some people just do it till they're potty trained and then they put it up because they can trust their dog also not to get into anything while they're gone. So just kind of all depends on what your preference is. And you can also just do more research and do like do's and don'ts of crate training. Like, don't use it as a bad spot. Don't say, hey, if you do this, I'm going to put you in your crate, because then they're going to associate it with being punished. And that's not the goal of crate training. The crate training goal is to get them potty trained and make sure that they're not getting into anything. That way it's a nice safe spot. So if you do need to go anywhere for a longer period of time, like grocery store or shopping, anything like that, you can put them away and they're not going to freak out. So that's just the basis of crate training with that. So, and I think that's just about it. If there's any questions, or you guys want to make any comments or put any pointers in the video that I may have missed, go ahead and leave a comment below, and go ahead and like and follow us on YouTube for more informational videos and more puppy videos. Thanks! Bye-bye.